Meet the queen of Snapchat and founder of 1AM Media and YesJulz. After spending most of her childhood in foster care, Juliana Goddard was adopted by her mom, who helped her flip the script of her complex childhood and become YesJulz. This self-made entrepreneur, events producer, publicist, brand influencer, and talent manager has clients ranging from Kanye West and Migos to Beats by Dre and Kith. From working out with LeBron James to raging on stage with Travis Scott, YesJulz doesn't miss a beat. The entrepreneurial spirit is the cornerstone of the American dream, a beacon to all willing to weave their story into the fabric of our history. I'm Elliot Dweck, and this is From the Founder. This episode has been sponsored by AND1. Juliana Goddard, YesJulz, we're here. What's cracking?
Only my mom calls me that. That really caught me off guard. You hit me with the Juliana. I'm great. I'm having an amazing day.
Let's go back to childhood for a second. Okay.
All I know is that I was moving around a lot between the ages of 2 and 9. And to my mother's credit, and when I say mom, I'm referring to the woman who raised me, Johanna. To her credit, she's known me since I was 2, and she would have taken me then. But to my birth mother's credit, she was a young woman who had a child very young and was still learning how to take care of herself even, and had a lot of things to work through at the time and didn't want to lose me and was doing her best, I think, to keep the family together, but just, life will happen. And as I get older, I start to view my parents and my family members as humans more.
Yeah, and it's a good perspective. So from when you were 2 to 9, you were moving around a lot, and I've read that you didn't spend more than 10 months in one place.
Yeah, no.
What did that do for you in terms of maturity?
I have this theory that kids who grew up in foster care move around as much as I did, that we become master networkers early on. One thing that I learned how to do is just get in where I fit in and make myself useful and bring something to the table, because if I didn't, then I might not get my portion of food that day, or whatever, or be welcome to stay in that household for a longer period of time.
You were always energetic.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like it just one day.
My mom said that's why she fell in love with me, was because of all these things.
I mean, she picked you.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. Like, out of anyone.
She's amazing. I honestly don't know how I got so lucky, but I thank God every day.
I think she made a good choice.
I was not who I am. I was not who I am now then, so Lord knows this woman must have been a psychic or something, because I was a troubled kid. I was really mean to her at first, even.
What do you think she saw in you?
I think she just always thought I was very bright and had a lot of potential, but I just needed the right environment, to grow in. So she just always reminded herself of that. Today Juliana got suspended again for fighting. I don't know when she's gonna get it through her head, But I know she's so smart and she has so much potential. Maybe we should put her in piano. Maybe she just needs to get more energy out.
Hi, we are here at the Dancing Singing Studio where Mariah Carey did product and sing her first album.
Your first job was 13, the lemonade stand?
Wow, you're really good.
I'm good, I know.
He's really good. I had a bussin' lemonade stand. And then from there, I came up with other ideas. On quiz day, we'd get knocked 10 points if we didn't have a number 2 pencil, because nobody likes writing with a number 2 pencil. It feels weird. You like writing with a pen.
You sold them?
So I sold pencils on quiz day, and so I'd get suspended for these things, you know? But it's like, I want to have my own schools. I will have my own schools one day. And in these schools, if a kid is selling things at school, like, I'm going to put them in a special kind of detention. And it's a detention where we hone in on those entrepreneurial traits and have them. And the punishment is you put together a fundraising campaign for your class.
This entrepreneurial spirit that you had, did it come from necessity, or was it just energy and creativity?
Well, yeah.
Meaning, like
I worked at Long John Silver's because I needed money and hated smelling like fish every day.
So senior year comes, and you meet your uncle.
Uncle John.
Uncle John. And he asks you, do you want to use one of my houses to throw some kind of prom party?
Nuts. I don't know why he did that.
And you took advantage of the opportunity.
But I thank God.
Of course.
Everything would have been different. It was just so cool to see everyone like dancing and partying and meeting each other, and it was awesome. I was like, I gotta do this again. Sold 200 tickets. I had $2,000 on me. This was like before technology.
Yeah.
So I had like cash, like $2,000 cash, like crumpled up ones and stuff, you know, like I thought I was balling.
After you realize you could do this, you go find the space and you say, I'm just gonna go throw a party?
Well, it was a combination of that and just people inbound, like clubs asking me to go out, and then me realizing like them giving me like a table with bottles. Then I just started like seeing fancy things, like cars I'd never seen before, names of alcohols I'd never heard before.
You had never seen anything in this lifestyle?
No. I don't know. I'd never eaten anywhere nicer than Chili's. My schedule was this. I was going to school. On days that I was off, I would work at a medical sales office writing taglines for like cacao berries and acai and vitamins. I would do that from 9 to 5, and then I'd work in a Tijuana Flats or whatever restaurant I was working at the time from 6 to 10, and then I'd clock out from that shift, and then I would go throw a party from 11 until 4 in the morning, and then do it again.
So you were always hustling?
Yeah, and then I moved to Miami when I was 21. This place called Live Open, and I heard that there was a sick Victoria's Secret fashion show there, and I saw it on TV, and it looked larger than life. It looked like things you see in the movies. And I was like, oh, that's where I need to throw parties. I could kill that. And then I was, waitressing, and I met some people who knew Grutman, and Mo got introduced to me. In the same 5 minutes that I met him while in that party in the club, I sent him my resume, and then he came back to the table and was like, wow, this girl you just introduced me to already sent me a resume. It's like, she hasn't even gone home yet.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, she's trying to work. And I was like, let me know when I could come in for an interview, I'd never seen anything like what was being done at Live. And it was like the full experience. And all I wanted to do was just like conduct my own version of it in there. As my team is building and we're doing #lunchbag, and I started an agency so that I wouldn't get, have to pay personal taxes at first, and I realized I should actually run an agency. Like, I know a ton of people from different brands that come party at Live that probably need innovative ideas and a network of influential people locally, and I'm the girl who's been taking care of all the most influential people in the city for the past 5 years. Snapchat came out, and I was like going about my days, and then this word influencer started coming up, and people started to refer to me as that, and I'm like, whatever,
Early on Snapchat, you get big. How are you getting bigger? How are you getting a lot of followers?
I'd love to say that I ran data analytics and knew when to post and all this kind of stuff, but I just had a feeling, I just had a natural knack for knowing how to chop up a snap, post it on Instagram, lead people to Snapchat. I was cross marketing. I was calling up friends like Wiz Khalifa right before their press run for their next album, saying, hey, have you heard of this thing, Snapchat? We should launch yours. I got a couple followers on there. I'll send my people to you. How about if I ask you a question on Instagram and then tell people you're gonna answer it on your Snapchat, and then you tag my Snapchat on your Snapchat, and So
you were introducing celebrities to Snapchat. At the same time, you were leveraging this network that you built over the last few years combining the two, working with brands. Now, Ryan Seacrest, that article that came out, how did that happen?
Somebody in his office like found my account and followed me and loved my account and put him on. And I guess he liked my account.
He liked it.
And it was, you know, I was just documenting like me building my business.
So this Ryan Seacrest quote comes out in this article, and then you have this LeBron Sprite remix party. What was the story with the LeBron party?
So it was his first Sprite flavor, and he was curating his own release plan, and they were talking, him and his team, Maverick, who is the person that I met serving coffee at Segafredo, because I was right across the street from his place.
This is Maverick Carter?
Yes. So he's the one that introduced me and got me the job at Live. And you know, I was always hosting them.
He was playing in Miami at the time.
He was playing in Miami at the time, and it was time to celebrate this new thing and this new flavor. And they were like, who should throw the party? Who can throw like the best party? And they were like, let's call JulZ. And so Mav called me one day and was like, hey, Coke's gonna call you in like within the hour. And I'm like, what do you mean Coke? Like Coca-Cola? And he was like, yeah, we're doing it's gonna be, her name's Kim. She works with Sprite, and we're doing a Sprite remix event, and you know, we want you to coordinate this event. And I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, you might want to start an LLC. I was like, whatever that is. You know what I mean? Like. So
after this party, I know you were mentioning before, you had the Johnny Manziel thing, you had a few other things that all happened at the same time.
Made in Tokyo, Ray Shremmerd. You know, it was like a great time, like Uzi, we were all just, Cardi, like we were all just being introduced to the world and each other, and super users of these platforms and having fun collaborating on them together.
How were you getting introduced to Uzi and Cardi and all these different artists?
Well, I worked for the #1 club in the world, in the city that had the #1 basketball team in the world, with the #1 basketball player in the world. I was best friends with those guys. You know, I made myself useful in any situation. I think that's why I had the opportunity to be friends with those guys, despite what the internet or anybody else wants to think, you know. The reason why I became friends with Emory Jones, who I believe later on helped me get a deal with Puma and have my own sneaker, because he called it 3 years prior, like, you're gonna have your own sneaker one day. And little did I know he was having conversations with them back then, you know. Was because I went up to him at my party and invited him to feed the homeless with me at #lunchbag, and said, if you come and feed the I didn't know who he was. Said, if you come and feed the homeless with me at #lunchbag, I'll give you a comp, and you bring 5 people, I'll give you a comp bottle next week. I didn't know he didn't need a comp bottle, because he was Jay-Z's best friend, right. You know.
When did you first realize that you could manage an artist?
When I was the go-to influencer, social media influencer in Miami, and brands were coming to me to activate for them, and I was able to utilize those opportunities to host a Red Bull showcase or Rolling Loud, or utilize a song from my recap video from my party to play a song or position an artist, and then get bookings for them. And it was really like through doing that with Travis that I learned, like, oh, I was like, man, like, I should manage Trav. I was like, I want to manage my own artists, you know?
You like the form, right?
You sure you've never done this before?
Nope, first time.
Oh, no,
I didn't end it good. Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't a good ending.
You were so promising.
It wasn't.
It's been a very tumultuous journey for me. Never not working wasn't working for me anymore. You know what I mean? I was like the cheerleader for it, and it was killing me. So I just needed to take a break. And I had just worked with Kanye, and seeing him in a capacity where he became human, and I understood the complexities of just balancing your life out. Being around Kanye, I've always had people tell me like I'm crazy and I need to focus, I'm like trying to do too much. People tell him that, and maybe people are right. But the thing that I love about him is that he doesn't care. Right. He's like, I'm gonna do what my heart desires every single day when I wake up, because life is short.
What does juice mean to you?
As I was going through this depression thing, and I didn't want to interact with people anymore, I realized I was gonna go broke. And I was like, how do I, somebody who makes my living off of sharing content, engaging with people digitally and in person through events and activations, how am I gonna take care of this house that I bought my mom if I don't wanna do that anymore, or for the time being? And so I realized that I needed to make a product. Then the space like falling into my lap, essentially. Like a friend of mine from the industry calling me and being like, hey, there's this awesome collaborative store that is like mission driven. And they don't have a food and beverage yet. Do you wanna do something in there? And I was like, I was thinking of doing a speakeasy, but actually that could sound like a good idea. You know, what's the run over there? And like figuring that out.
Over the years, you're working with a lot of different brands,
Yes.
right? Did you ever consider working for any of these brands?
I was offered some opportunities to work at labels as an A&R, to assist the CMO beats, and they were all incredible opportunities that I couldn't even fathom at the time. I just knew I wanted to build something of my own.
You turned everything down and you bet on yourself, which is really impressive.
Thanks. J. Cole has a new album out. You should listen to it. But he has a song where he's like, and if I'm sure you did. Sorry for sleeping on your ability to know what the hell is going on in
You
music.
like your little
I hate when
understated
people do
me or
that to
whatever.
me.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
sorry.
No,
But he has a song where he's like, and if I'm betting on myself, then I completely double down. Because there's nobody like I believe in more than myself. I'll bet on Kanye West, but I'm gonna bet on myself 10 times over. You know, like I'll never stop betting on myself.
Was there any doubt when you made the move to, you know, work for yourself and I'm not going to work with any brands, I'm not going to work for someone else?
There was no doubt, because if there was, I wouldn't have done it, because I don't play with my mom's livelihood. It's like, I'm always thinking like, what's gonna have the best outcome for my family? Like, how can I best take care of my family? And I don't know if that's because my mom bet on me so hard. You know what I mean? Like, really, that woman bet on me, but she also, like, growing up would tell me, you're gonna be the first woman president. I've been hearing that since I was 6. My mom's been telling me, Jules, you know what? Arguing is getting you in trouble and kicked out of class right now, but one day it's gonna get you to the White House. And like, her saying those things to me over and over and over again, like, there's no way you can't tell me that that's not true, because my mom, who I love and admire more than anyone in this world, has said it to me like 200 times. So it must be true.
What would you say is your biggest accomplishment?
Buying my mom a house. That was the best day of my life.
When was that?
2016.
What was her reaction?
She just was just crying. She was screaming, running around the house. My niece was running around the house, happy. It was, I've always told my mom I'm gonna take care of her since I was little, but I think that was like the day she really believed me. That was just the best day ever.
Jules, this has been incredible.
Awesome.
What a journey.
Thanks.
What a journey.
This interview was a journey. Yeah.
From being a foster child and having a person who bet on you, which gave you the confidence to then bet on yourself and go through a career and this whole story of having opportunities where you could have been able to work for other companies and other brands, but instead you bet on yourself. And it's really inspiring to hear that.
Well, you've got to be somebody similar, because you guys came in here with like the real deal setup, and your production is amazing. And I only was able to watch the Grutman episode, but just it was really great to see somebody I even used to work for. You know what I mean? And that I know personally in that light. You thought to ask questions that I would never think to ask, and I think it's important that people get interviewed in this way, in a very open, free, comfortable setting. And like, there's a lot of finger pointing and all kinds of stuff going on in the world, and it's nice to just sit down and like talk to someone as a human being. And I think that we need more of that. And so I thank you, and I love what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, come to my party on Thursday if you're in town.
100%.
Cool.